Just doing a Q&A session here tonight. So if you have any questions or whatever regarding the projects I've been working on, just type it in the live chat and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Just doing a live stream tonight. It's Q&A night. If you have any questions or whatever, just type it in the live chat and I'll try to answer it as best I can. Just waiting for some people to jump on here. So far, just got one person. Don't know who you are, but if you want to say hi to me, just type it in the live chat. Just doing a Q&A tonight. Just waiting for people to show up. Any questions, comments about my projects? Just kind of type it in the live chat box on the side there or at the bottom, wherever it shows up on your computer or on your smartphone. Hopefully we'll get some people tonight. We'll see. We will see. Anybody's showing up here? Hopefully people are going to tune in. Yeah, we're doing a Q&A session tonight. Any questions, comments on my projects, suggestions, give me crap, and type it in the live chat. Yeah, just starting a Q&A here. We got about 3 people in there. Please type something in. It's a Q&A. Ask me any questions on my projects, what I've been working on, and yeah, hopefully I can answer them for you. Been doing a lot of experiments with the piezoelectrics. What was it? Last night? Yeah, last night I was doing a lot of experiments with the piezos, trying extra coils. I tried a generator coil that actually worked with all the magnets facing north, so you can pick up an alternating current, even though that all your magnets are facing north or south. It doesn't matter. So it pretty much proved to me that I could produce an AC voltage using all north poles. It does work. I was actually quite surprised. We got here. Got people jumping in and out. I got one person watching. We'll just keep it going for a little bit here and see if anybody joins, and hopefully I can answer some questions. funny shadow on my eye there. Kind of looks funny. That's weird. Looks like something's in my eye. Oh, might as well just drink coffee until people show up. Hey, how's it going? Okay, finally we're getting some people in here. Just doing a Q&A. Any questions, please ask me in the live chat, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Please let me know if my feed is going good, if it's getting cut off or any latency problems. Please let me know in the live chat. I'm just trying to see if more people are going to show up. There's only 2 people right now. I know it's it's 9 o'clock Eastern right now. Don't know how many people will actually show up. Ask questions in the live chat. If you got any questions regarding my projects or you're trying to figure something out. Okay, my graphite magnesium cells with grapefruit seed extract was staying at 1.7 volts for over 2 months, but I lost the cell when I got evicted. Oh no. That's cool. That's really good. So grapefruit works really good, eh? That's interesting. Yeah, I heard that from somebody else. They were doing, um, yeah, you just experiment. That's all I gotta say is like go in with a non-biased approach. Try different elements. Just whatever comes to your head, try it because you don't know. Sometimes you'll get an effect that you really didn't expect. GSC. What is a GSC? So what? Just like is it a petroleum or is it like a natural oil? Oh, grapefruit seed extract. Okay, right on. Yeah, see, so you find certain elements that are going to work really, really well with it. It's the oil from the grapefruit seed. Hmm. Yep. So there was some guy. I think it was Jeremiah. He rebuilt the cell that I did, and he used just distilled water on it, and he was still able to get a voltage. That's what distilled water. It's probably the worst electrolyte you could possibly use, and it still creates power. Mm, the evaporation of the water makes. Yeah, yeah. If you can find an electrolyte that's non-corrosive, but yet um, creates a good electrolyte, yeah, sure. Grapefruit seed extract, yeah. Huh, cool. I'll have to try that at some point. I kind of put that one on ice right now because I'm really working on the Adams motor. Um, now that I've really got confirmation that the piezo's are really working good. Yeah, just waiting for more people to join. Um, Oh, cool. Yeah, well, have a safe trip, and hopefully, I'm not sure where you live, but have a safe trip when you go back to Ecuador, and yeah, come on, people, join. I guess it's kind of late for a lot of people to join a live stream at this time. But it's 9 o'clock Eastern here in Toronto, so it's not too late. Hopefully, more people join in and ask some questions I can try to answer. And hmm, sometimes with the live stream, you got to be a little bit patient. And, let's see what we got going on here. I've been looking at a few projects by this guy who calls himself Energy Researcher. Um, he's doing some really good stuff with the Tesla coils and wireless transmission power. You can look him up. He calls himself Energy Researcher. And yeah, I'd just like to give him a bit of a plug because I like the stuff he's been doing. Um, experiments in the proximity of the volcanoes. Yeah, I actually climbed a volcano when I was in the Philippines. Tal volcano. It actually blew up a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember that. Taal volcano in the Philippines. I actually climbed that, and a couple of years ago, it actually blew up. So where I was standing is actually completely leveled, destroyed. Unbelievable area, beautiful, just unbelievable area. It's in Batangas, in the Philippines, in Luzon. My wife's Filipino, so that's why I was there. We were there about 12 years ago. No, 11 years ago? Yeah, 11 years. Cool. I'm live streaming right now. I'm live. Yes. Good night. Good night, daughter. Daughter's heading off to bed. I'll give you a kiss later, I promise. Good night. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. It'd be nice to travel again, but things are kind of wacky right now, especially what's happened in Ukraine. And now U.S. troops are being shipped into Poland and Romania. We got 20,000 troops on heading into Romania from the U.S. Because Iran was apparently have Iranian soldiers in the Ukraine setting up these killer drones. So I don't know if the UN's going to do something about it, but I don't know. It could get a little crazy there in the next few days. We'll have to see. Hopefully, World War III won't. Um, yeah, that'd be kind of a neat trip. Definitely. Well, I live in the northern hemisphere. Anytime I go to the southern hemisphere, it's nice because the weather's so much better. We're just heading into our winter now. But the last week we've had pretty good weather. Kind of a little warmer than normal for this time of year, but I figure by November our weather is going to go down the gutter and get really cold. So, but anybody have any questions, comments, type it in live chat regarding my experiments or whatever. Now, I did find out something actually quite interesting. Since you're in Ecuador, I think, yeah, Ecuador, you might want to try to get a hold of quartz crystal. Um, yeah, you definitely build the Adams motor. It's a lot easier to build than you might think. As soon as you get the circuitry figured out, it's so easy. But you have to use the 4 prong automotive switch. Oh, calcite crystal, calcite quartz crystal. Now, I have found out they have very interesting property. They're used in a lot of electronics, and um, what you want to do is, I kind of found this out by accident. They will resonate to electromagnetic frequency. So if you put that calcite crystal right beside, say,
here's a result from the web.
Oh, my phone's doing funny things. If you take that calcite crystal and you put it right beside an AC plug or an extension cord or whatever, well, guess what happens? That calcite crystal actually starts to oscillate at 60 hertz. So what you can experiment with is get a piece of it, maybe a long skinny piece, maybe a couple inches long by maybe half-inch diameter or whatever, and wrap a coil wire around that calcite crystal, clean off the ends, put it right beside an AC plug. You don't even have to touch it. Put a voltmeter up to it, and guess what? You're going to have power coming through that wire, is because the calcite crystal is picking up the AC signal. And the funny thing is, the closer you put the calcite crystal to the wire, AC plug or whatever, the signal becomes exponentially stronger. Now, the other thing too is it will not pose a load on the circuit. So you're actually getting free energy from the plug without actually registering a load on your AC. So it's because the AC, the flux coming off at 60 hertz or 50 hertz, depending where you live in the world, it's making that calcite crystal oscillate and actually resonate and actually mimics the actual resonant frequency of the signal coming off the AC circuit. So you're actually getting power for free. Now, if you take that and you go near a hydro pole, it's going to pick up the 60 or 50 hertz wherever you are. So you can actually generate electricity, pull it off, and they wouldn't know that you're pulling electricity off their grid because you're oscillating a crystal. And then the crystal now oscillates the coil that's around the crystal. And there you go. There's some free power right there. Still waiting for people to join. I guess nobody wants to join live stream tonight. That's crazy. It's only one person on right now. No, we got 2 people. We got people jumping in and out. Have any questions? Q&A night. Live chat's open. And ask me any questions on my projects I've been doing. Adams motor, Gerard Morin device, MRA device. Yeah, just shoot me a question or whatever, comment or whatever. And hopefully I can answer it. But I got a pretty good collection of quartz crystals, calcite. Now, calcite quartz crystal is 10 times the magnitude of the oscillation. So regular quartz crystal will oscillate, but if you get the calcite quartz crystal, it multiplies that signal by 10 times. It resonates way higher. So that's if you want to pick that out. If you're in Ecuador or any of these countries near, where you get a hold of quartz crystals, get the calcite. It's amazing. I didn't believe it at first when I put the crystal right beside uh, the AC outlet. Actually, well, I got a extension cord, and I'm trying to figure out why is this, because I shut the Adams motor off, shut everything off, and I go, why am I picking a EMF signal off this crystal? Like, I don't have anything running near it. And then it dawned on me, it's the signal coming off of the AC adapter plug. So it was actually making it oscillate. Pretty amazing. I was not expecting that. That was total fluke that I was able to pick that up. So now I know I can actually try to. I'm gonna get a coil made, and I'm gonna shove the calcite inside, make that like the core, and then put it right near an AC plug and see if I can generate electricity through that wire using the resonant harmonic that's being generated inside the calcite crystal. Still waiting for more people to join. Only got a couple people on. I don't know if I got a bad time or we'll see if more people will join. Oops. Yo, Wally, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Any questions? What I'm doing? You guys know each other? That's cool. Yeah, any questions, comments on my projects? Just been talking about quartz crystals the last few minutes. I found out that quartz crystals actually start oscillating if you put it near a wall outlet or extension cord or whatever. I was getting EMF harmonic coming off the calcite quartz crystals. All right, we got more people joining. Hopefully, we'll get some more people in. Questions, comments, Q&A night. Now's the time to do it. If you got any specific technical questions. Live chat is open. Please join us. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And yeah. Now, if you're going near a volcano, what you might want to do is if you're making those batteries, the graphite magnesium batteries, stick them in the soil, in the volcanic soil. It's really rich. Now, you might be able to get a lot better voltage by sticking them in the volcanic soil. You'll probably get more voltages. Oh, you've been doing it for 40 years. Well, there we go. Yeah, try sticking those batteries in the volcanic ash in the ground. Just stick them right like a Stubblefield coil, right? Nathan Stubblefield did it, so it works. And he wasn't even using magnesium and calcium. He was using iron, aluminum, copper wire, and he was getting a voltage just by sticking it in the ground. So yeah, you can try that with those carbon magnesium batteries. From what I heard, it works good in the ground. So yeah, see if any. We're getting a few people in here. Make a layer of gel containing ash for the insulator instead of the paper towel. Yeah, you could try it. Sure. Experiment with that. That sounds like a really good idea. Yeah, you need something that it's creating a dielectric. There's a separation between the carbon and the magnesium that you have to have, but it also has to have room for the air to actually get in because it's a carbon magnesium air battery. So there has to be air exposure to the cell. As far as I know, the air has to be exposed to the magnesium. The magnesium has to have air on it. See, Tor. See, I stayed away. Okay, this is my feeling with the toroid coils. The toroid coils is a closed magnetic field. It's contained because it's round. So there's no beginning, no end. There's no north pole, no south pole. It's confined in a circle, and then you have 0 point in the middle. Now, for certain applications, sure, the toroid's good, but if you're trying to create electromagnetic field that emanates power outwards, the toroid is something you don't want. If you want to transmit electrical energy, the toroid's probably not your best way of doing things, especially even for a motor. Now, you can do it for a motor, but the thing is, the wheel has to be in the middle of the donut for it to actually work. Now, I've taken coils and actually done the zero force motor where I actually turn the coil sideways, and it does work. It works because it's riding on the flux wave going from the North Pole going down to the South Pole, and it's this looping circle. So basically, when you look at it, it's a cross section of a toroid, anyways, right? You got that round motion. It's going north to south, north to south, north to south. And that spinning in the flux is what's keeping the pulse motor running. It's riding the wave. That's what I call it. It's actually riding the wave. Uh, yeah, as long as the air is exposed to at least one side of the magnesium. See, I haven't really dabbled in the stone toroids and the cones as respect to electrical equivalent for the cone. I know Tesla was making coils shaped in a cone form. I know he was testing stuff like that. I don't know if there's anything special about making the coils in a cone form. You know what? There's so many things I could dabble into, but my focus right now has just kind of been on the Adams motor. I want to perfect it. I'm even thinking about making a kit or making a small demonstrator tester that you guys can buy if you guys want to buy it, or if you guys rather make it on your own. And that's why I do the video, so you guys can make your own. Um, yeah, there could be value in those conductive forms. Sure, you have to experiment. That's what I've been doing. Like, honestly, if I didn't do the experiments I did, I would not have found the piezoelectrics. I did some research on it and going, there's something there. Something was telling me I had to get some of those piezos. So I got the piezos. I'm thinking to myself, okay, my pulse motor at this time, I can only get one house light barely lit. And it's like, I know the power's in there. I know the power's in the coil, but it wasn't getting out. So I started doing some research and I started watching some stuff that Paul Babcock and Jim Murray were talking about capacitive inductance. And basically, when you pull a load off a coil, what's going to happen is it's naturally going to want to pull in more current. Problem is, when it pulls the current into the coil, it gets trapped inside the coil. It has no means of getting out. So that's where you get the condition of capacitive inductance. So they were talking about doing advanced switching where you're able to basically trigger and short the coils in a very controlled, very fast triggering method, like basically within a couple nanoseconds, triggering occurs. So the idea was you have to have your conductor in the middle, you have to have a switch on one side, and you have to have a switch on the other side. And those switches have to be firing off simultaneously. And when this happens, it basically it increases the back EMF voltage potential in the coil. When this occurs, now I was listening to a few Eric Dollard lectures. Voltage is energy, okay? Voltage is amperage or current. They're all one and the same. If you got a lot of voltage, you're going to have a lot of current. If you have a lot of current, you're going to have a lot of amperage. That's why a Tesla coil goes several thousand volts, can produce up to 2,500 or even 3,000 amperes. Okay. The difference is between the coils that I'm doing have cores in it. So therefore you have basically a Hertzian type. It's an inductor. So you're going to attract more electron mass coming into the coil. So therefore, if you're running at, say, 60 hertz and you touch it, you're dead. A Tesla coil can produce 20, 50, 100,000 volts, several million volts at several hundred amps. And depending on the frequency, if it's high enough, you would actually be able to touch that without getting killed. So that's the difference between when you make it as an inductor or an air core like a Tesla coil. That's the big difference. So remember, you got energy, you got power or voltage. If you got voltage, you got current. If you got current, you have amperage. Now you add a metal core into the scenario, depending on your frequency, will determine how many amps you're going to produce in that circuit. So, yeah, watch Dollard. If you want to learn about the real way electricity is, you got to go back right to square one, like he said. You got to go back to Tesla, Faraday, J.J. Thomson. Steinmetz is probably the number one person you should be reading up on. If you want to really understand electrical technology, electricity, and how it works, Steinmetz. Read him. Read his, what's it called? Waves. What is it? Magnetism, Waves, and I forget the name of the book. I'll get it for you guys later. Yeah, you got to read Steinmetz. It's the only way you're really going to understand electrical technology is read up on Steinmetz, watch Dollard's lectures. I don't care if you got to watch them 50 times until you go blue in the face. You have to listen to his work because he explains electricity in probably the most accurate form and context. Any questions in the forum, please? Hutchison still takes place in what happened. Yeah, Hutchison. I talked to Hutchison back in the mid 2000s. I had a radio show back in the day when podcasting was really just starting. I was kind of right at the beginning of the podcast age. Hutchison. He is an enigma. He is just unbelievable. This person. He's scary, intelligent. Kind of a madman, if you want to think about it that way. He's just eccentric, brilliant mind. Really is actually a very nice person just to talk with on the phone. At that time, he was living in New Westminster, British Columbia at the time. That's when he was doing all the work for Boeing and all those guys. Yeah, I'm here. I live in Ontario. I'm just outside of Toronto. Been a Torontonian all my life. Oh, you're in Belleville? Oh, okay. I'm way out. I'm right beside Hamilton. Actually, I have my wife's cousin. They got relatives out in Belleville. Yeah. I've been to Kingston. I've been to Thousand Islands. Been to Ottawa, Montreal. Been all over Ontario. You name it, I've pretty much been there. Victoria's nice. I haven't been out in Western Canada. My wife was out in Vancouver last month. Oh, you're ex-military. Yeah. I had a lot of friends that were ex-military. Some of them worked out of Borden. Some of them worked out of Gagetown. I'm I'm just north of Oakville. If you want to get specific, I don't want to actually say where I'm exactly from, but if you know the area, I'm just north of Oakville. Yeah. More from Borden, Angus, Blue Mountain, yeah. Aurelia, yeah, I've been all over there. Yeah. Aurelia, like Gravenhurst, Algonquin, Perry Sound, Blue Mountain. Yeah, where I was out in Tobermory, Wyerton. Yeah, I've been Gravenhurst. Love it. Love that area. One of my favorite areas, Highway 11. I like the giant tiger that's right off of Highway 11 when you drive right in Gravenhurst. I always go to the giant tiger. My wife laughs at me every time I want to go there. Deerhurst, I haven't been there. I haven't been to Deerhurst. Yeah. Well, I think he is, if I'm not mistaken, he's in Minnesota. That's where he lives now with his girlfriend. Yeah, I've been to Algonquin. It's been years since I've been up in Algonquin Park. Did camping out there where our family does a lot of camping. The last 2 years kind of been screwed up with this COVID and all that stuff, so we haven't done as much camping as we would normally do. But yeah, we used to be up at Georgian Bay, Penetanguishene. Used to go up there. We had a boat docked up there up at 6 Mile Lake, uh, Georgian Bay. We used to go to as kids. Yeah, it's a nice area. I got friends who live in Barrie. Uh, yeah, I haven't been up there. No, I think the furthest I've been is North Bay. Been up to the Sault Ste. Marie. Um, where else? North Bay. Where else did I go? I was young at the time. Uh, yeah, I think North Bay. I think is the furthest I've really traveled. Oh, is it? Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been out that way. I think I was like, God, I was in probably about 10 or 11 when I went up there. Yeah, Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah, we had relatives that lived. That was a mining town up in Sault Ste. Marie, and we had friends of our family that lived up there, so we went to go visit them. Yeah, we went there when it was mayfly season. They had the mayfly infestation. Oh my God, it absolutely stunk. Like it smelled like manure everywhere. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't really have any family that was in the military. Oh, not even my dad's father. He immigrated here in 1938. Um, oh, maybe a place you might know, Tammy. My father was born in Val d'Or, Quebec, near the air base up there. It was a military base. His dad was my grandfather. He was a gold miner and coal miner up in the mines up in Val d'Or. So yeah, my dad was born in Quebec, but his parents immigrated from Slovakia. So I'm a Slovakian background. So my dad spoke fluent French when he was a kid, but when he moved to Toronto, he pretty much lost it all. Yeah, there's a military. It was I don't know if the military base is still there. Yeah, yeah. My dad was born in Val d'Or, and I had a good friend of mine. Actually, he was my best man at the wedding. He was born just outside of Sherbrooke, Quebec. Yeah, Slovakia is a beautiful country. They're actually economically were doing really, really good until the Russians decide to start messing everything up. I have relatives there. They actually came to visit us about 5 or 6 years ago. They came to visit us from Slovakia. And then my mom and dad went to My mother was born in Serbia, in Bački Petrovac, Serbia. It's right near the Hungarian border. And she went back there for the first time in like 60 years. She hadn't been back because they left just after, I guess it was 1958 when they came to Canada. Yeah, my mother is 77. So I'm trying to work what year she is. She was about 13 or 14, I think, when she came to Toronto. Yeah. Met. I learned many more languages. Thank you. Yes. Europe is amazing. I love to go there. I just haven't had a chance to go out there. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of Polish everywhere. Actually, my daughter's best friend's Polish. Oh, you're from Edmonton. Hey, Stephen. How's it going? Just trying to do a Q&A tonight. Any questions, comments regarding my experiments? I'll try to answer as best I can. Yeah. Yeah, the weather in Toronto's been really wacky, man. We're getting like this like real warm spell right now. Usually right now it's like rainy and miserable and cold. And what was it on Saturday? It hit 22 degrees. So for like October, that's like unbelievable weather. Yeah, 21 in Belleville. Cool. Yeah. I'm not sure what it hit here today. It was probably very close to it. Uh, just anything. I'm doing live stream right now. My wife's saying, "What are you talking about?" It's 18 in Belleville right now. Yeah, it says it's 11 here. Yeah, 11 degrees here. I went out earlier. It was pretty nice. What's my next project? Just continuing with the Adams motor. I want to get that done. I'm working on a new design for that. Um, I don't think I'll be using solar panels. I won't need to. The lipo PO4 batteries, yeah, they're the best battery out there by far. By far, if you can afford the extra dollars, yeah, the Life PO4 batteries are superior to pretty much everyone. For one thing, they last the longest. You can recharge the hell out of them, and they just keep going. They're like capacitors. Uh, where to buy the best PO4 battery? Oh God, you just shop around. Like they're everywhere. They're on AliExpress. They're on Amazon. Um, Sometimes you can find local people that deal with it. I know a lot of solar companies. I don't know if there's any out in your area. They might carry them. Well, no, laptops don't use their lithium ion batteries. There's a difference between the two. Lithium iron phosphate is the better of the two. Lithium ion are like severely unstable. And if they get jarred or heated up or whatever, yeah, you got like a little bomb there. Lithium iron phosphate, they're actually a dry cell battery and they're extremely light. Compared to a lithium ion, they're quite a bit lighter. Yeah, but they are pricey. Uh, yeah, they are good. As long as, from what I understand, don't use those batteries without the BSM. BSM is a battery system module. It's a charging module. It controls how the battery actually gets charged. So you make sure when you buy the battery, it has the BSM built in it. Now, like using that with the Adams motor, those batteries would like never run out of power because I've got the Adams motor to a point where it's requiring such little current to run that battery. So I can run it for several hours, shut the motor off, take a reading of the battery, and chances are by the time you take a reading of it, say the next day, that battery might be at full power again. It'll actually kind of recover because it's not pulling any current off the battery or very very little, like 20 to it depends how I set the timing on the Adams motor. If you set it really close to a point where it's very fast, it's going to draw more current. But usually my Adams motor never goes over 50 milliamps. It's always way under. I've had it as low as 10 milliamps. So if you have let's see what we got here. Try long copper wire in a air experiment. Maybe the permanent wire on your house will capture energy. Yeah, see earlier I was talking about this. Um, you can get your hold of yourself as calcite crystal. Now they're very sensitive to picking up electromagnetic flux frequency. Now I actually was able to get mine to oscillate when I put it right beside, let's say, a power cable or anything electric from the wall, AC. And if you wrap air around it, or sorry, you wrap copper wire around that calcite crystal, and you put it beside, uh, okay, thanks a lot, Tammy. We'll hopefully chat soon. Great questions. Yeah, so I was it's picking up that oscillation. So it's like calcite, it will amplify that frequency by 10 times. So it's very, very sensitive to a frequency. So if you wrap copper wire around that calcite, you might actually generate a voltage coming off it. So if you were, say, yeah, you could capture energy outside the house. So if you walk around with that crystal in your hand and the copper wire wrapped around it, have a voltmeter, just start walking around. You might be picking up voltages just from random magnetic fluctuations, and you actually generate power. So I'm kind of thinking that's basically the same way. Uh, yeah, thanks, Tammy. Have a great night. Thank you. Um, Yeah, just walk around with the voltmeter and hold the calcite in your hand with the copper wire and just walk around randomly. And if there's any transient electromagnetic fluctuations, it's going to pick it up, especially if it's calcite, because calcite's super sensitive. I think it was 10 or 30 times. I'll have to talk to my buddy about that. He's kind of the quartz expert. Um, but yeah, actually, I'm thinking about doing that myself. Just walk around with the voltmeter and this quartz crystal and just a coil of wire around it and see if I can pick up power. You never know. It's all transient. There's so much electromagnetic disturbances going around everywhere. You might be able to pick stuff up, even if you walk near, like, say, a hydro pole. And yeah, you might be able to pick up some power for free. They wouldn't even know you're picking up the power. That's the best part about it. Now, if the utility company saw you walking around with a piece of calcite crystal and a copper coil, they're going to wonder what the heck you're up to. Any questions, comments? It's in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you like the live stream. Hopefully, I can answer some more questions. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the one guy that was doing radiant energy experiments back in the day, and he had his device destroyed. T. Henry Morey. I think his device, the way it worked, he had a very long antenna, and I think he was using a calcite crystal wrapped in the core. I think that's what the secret sauce to his device was. Yeah, you can put a wire on the drone and send it up. Oh yeah, you'll definitely create a lot of voltage, but you're looking in the kilovolts. It's 120 volts static electricity every meter. Every meter you're going up, you're at 120 volts. So you go up, say, a half mile, you're in the kilovolt range. So oh yeah, we need to learn a lot about crystals. Crystals are a very interesting form of power. The ancients knew about it. It's kind of a lost technology. You could find them on. I think you could find calcite crystal on eBay and stuff like that. People sell that stuff all the time. But yeah, get calcite crystal, quartz crystal. Um, yeah, the crystal, it's used in electronic devices, so that should tell you something right there. They're used in watches because they oscillate. They have a harmonic oscillation that goes in there, and it's um, specifically timed. That's why they use it in quartz watches. They use it for timing of our watches and stuff. So that's got to tell you something right there. Now, how you utilize the crystal is another thing. It's used in a lot of electronic communications devices. I bet you the military probably still uses it quite a bit because the properties are just, so amazing. Like, you get such a way better an effect with using the quartz crystal. Uh, Multiple wires. See, the more wire you put on it, it's creating a capacitance. Now, the other thing too is the quartz crystal has to be exposed to the frequency. If you got it totally immersed in wire, it's not going to be able to oscillate because the crystal's got to be exposed to the frequency. Any frequency that goes and it hits that quartz crystal, it's gonna absorb it and start oscillating it like a tuning fork. So there has to be some of that quartz crystal exposed to the air to actually pick up that transient signals. Oh yeah, the it's going to multiply many times the energy. Now the type of wire is important too. Gauge of wire, length of wire. So all that will play into take that all into account. You would have to just experiment with it. Like, you get a good oscillation going enough, you can charge capacitors with it. You know, see, I always try to create the energy and then store it in a medium, whether it's a battery or a capacitor. See, Tesla always talked about this. It doesn't matter if it's an AC current or DC current, wherever you're getting that power, says it's the number one thing you want to do is get that power from wherever median it is. It could be anything. Get it into a condenser. Back then, that's what they call a capacitor, is a condenser. As soon as you get into a condenser, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And that's what Tesla states in his writings. So collect the energy, store the energy, re-manipulate the energy, and then utilize the energy. So you want to think in those terms. Yeah, we're just over an hour here. I got to go for a quick little break. I've been sitting here. My legs are getting a little sore. Yeah, I'll probably end the live stream here. And then maybe I'll just call it quits for the night. Maybe we'll do another live stream tomorrow night. Been on just over an hour now. So, yeah, so let's shoot for that. We'll do it again, 9 o'clock Eastern again tomorrow night. If you guys want to join me again, I'll try to do another live stream. And I think we'll just call it quits because it's almost 10 o'clock Eastern here. I think a lot of people got to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. So I'll let everybody go. Have a good sleep and happy experimenting. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you could definitely do a spark gap with that amount of power coming in. You get up to that altitude, you're going to get kilovolts. Yep. But again, even though you're getting the power from way up high, still got to put it into a condenser, into a capacitor. You have to store that power. As soon as you harness that power, you got to store it. And then after you store it, then you can utilize it in whatever way you want. And that goes for pretty much everything that Tesla was working on. 5 kilovolt input, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's awesome. Right on. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. And cheers, everybody. And thanks for joining us, joining me for the live stream. We'll see everybody soon. Cheers.